Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the American Sports Connection. I am your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I am here with my buddy Lance, and we're going to talk about WWE Payback from last night. How's it going, Lance?
Hey, it's good, doing good here. How are you?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Could be better, could be worse. So, what did you think of Payback last night?
Yeah, it was okay. Fell a little short of what I was expecting, but it was okay.
I said it wasn't necessarily bad, but it wasn't necessarily good. It was like kind of in the middle.
It was a good Raw.
Basically,
I didn't mind
that
it.
would be a fair assessment.
Well, we'll get into it. There's some stuff I really hated, and there's some stuff I really liked. So
yeah. All right. To start the kickoff show, we had Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler. I didn't mind this match.
I thought it was a pretty good match. I didn't understand. Like we've talked, we don't like Baron Corbin that much, but I thought for sure they were going to give the guy the win.
Yeah.
Like, why? What's the point of him winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, bringing him into Raw, beating people up, and then he loses his first match on a pay-per-view?
I know, unless they're planning on keeping that feud going to Extreme Rules and having him win there.
Well, I would have thought they would have had him win first, then Ziggler win, and then Corbin can win the third.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
But I don't know, maybe already.
I know, the only issue I had with this match is it felt a little rushed.
Yeah, I missed the beginning of it because I didn't know it was actually on that soon, so I caught most of it.
I mean, it just felt like they were trying to hurry up and get their shit in.
Exactly.
That's why I don't particularly care for pre-show matches, because you're kind of relegated to, okay, you got 5 minutes.
5 minutes and a commercial.
Yeah, that still amazes me to this day. That it's their network and they're going on a commercial in the middle of a pre-show match.
And their commercial is trying to sell the network. It's like,
yeah.
Hey, we're watching it already.
I always wondered, because obviously you and I don't get the pay-per-views the old-fashioned way that you used to. I always wondered if it's the same deal. If you buy the actual pay-per-view, like, do they plug the network or do they stay on the match or what?
Yeah, that actually might be. That could be why they do maybe the commercials, because they want you to buy the network. But if you're buying the pay-per-view,
if you're already watching it.
Well, maybe some place. Oh no, I guess the net is everywhere. I was going to say maybe some places they got to watch the.
There is still some places, I think, that don't have it.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about the net that they can't watch the pre-show on the net, but the net's everything, I guess. If I get the same net as you get, so as Dino gets, as the guy in Australia gets, so
yeah, I don't know, but anyway, Ziggler wins on a schoolboy, which was kind of out of nowhere.
I missed that too. I looked away, but schoolboy's so quick, and hey, it's a classic move. And I don't know if he pulled the trunks, because usually they pull the trunks.
It's like they wanted Corbin to lose, but they wanted to protect him. If that makes any sense.
That makes perfect sense.
All right. The other pre-show match was Kalisto versus Ryback for the United States title. I actually thought this was a pretty good match.
It definitely shocked me. I thought Ryback was just going to come out there and squash him and win, which happily didn't happen. It was a really good match.
I was going to say this match was better than their match at WrestleMania.
Oh, I have to agree on that. I like Kalisto, and I don't mind Ryback. It's just because they do need the big muscle head guys, and it just the spot he's put in, obviously, again. It's not his fault that he has
he made me laugh when he was mocking CM Punk when he came out.
I didn't notice that until somebody told me about it, and then I guess because I forgot about their big big feud on the internet. And they were in
Chicago. What he should have done is, and this is just me, to really rile people up, he should have did the go to sleep.
I was thinking the same. Yeah, I'll put him in one of CM Punk's, what's his finishing move?
Anaconda Vice.
Yeah, but he's probably too big to get anybody in that move. His arms wouldn't fit around the guy's head or whatever that move is.
It still would have been hilarious.
I definitely would have got the crowd going, because he started. Like, if you're going to start getting the crowd pissed off, maybe he did that thing just by himself, or if somebody told him to go out there and mock CM Punk, they probably would have done all that. So he must have just did that on his own.
That's what I'm thinking. And then he had that really cool spot where he, like, press slammed Kalisto off the top rope.
That was cool, but then, I think that was the end, wasn't it? And then Kalisto gets up, hits his move, and it's over.
Yeah, he didn't even sell it.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you just go flying off the top rope, and all of a sudden you just bounced up like it was nothing. But that's
that's the one thing I didn't like, but...
That's minor.
Yeah. All in all, I thought it was solid. Kalisto won with the Salida del Sol. Not a bad way to end the pre-show. Excuse me.
I was way better than I thought it would be.
Oh, absolutely. I was thinking it was going to be terrible. And
it actually turned out to be one of the best matches of the night, probably in the top 5, maybe.
Yeah. All right.
And that's a lot for saying about Goldberg Ryback. Oh man,
you just can't get away from it.
That's the first time I've probably ever done that. But yeah, Goldberg. Oh man.
Well, it's his fault. He looks just like him. You know what I mean? But that's okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they're telling him to dress that way or if it's up to him, but
yeah. All right. Next, we had to open the show. It was Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains. This was sad because at first, me and you had talked about this earlier, I thought it was a work.
I thought so too. I thought, well, they need a way for the Vaudevillains to get through, and they also need a way to get sympathy and not hurt Enzo and Cass. So I thought, okay, yeah, he's hurt. Oh man, he can't continue. But then you look at the replay, and once you see the look on the announcer's face, and also I thought it was a work too because they kept showing it. And
because usually if it's bad, they turn away.
Yeah, and they don't show it on the camera over and over and over. But yeah, he nailed himself good too. Then you see him lying on the ground, and he's out cold.
Well, you saw him. He hit the side of his face on the rope, and then he whacked his side of the face on the edge of the ring. And then when you saw him go down, he just kind of went limp and laid there like a fish. And I was like, oh, he's out cold.
I think everybody's making a big deal out of nothing in a way too. Well, not nothing, but man, it's not. People are saying, oh, it's another Owen Hart, and I'm like, oh my god, no, it's not.
Not at all.
The guy is fine. He's okay. I don't, and that's what you get. He's kind of, I'm going to say he's kind of incompetent sometimes as a wrestler. The only reason he's there is because of his mouth. He botched his own move. Nobody else got hurt. It's like, the guy got what he got because he's not
I know what you're saying, where he was supposed to kind of slide out of the ring and somehow come back in, and he kind of messed it up.
Yeah, if you can't do that, how are you gonna? I'm glad the guy didn't get hurt. I don't want to wish hurt on anybody, obviously, but you kind of get what you deserve when you're not that trained. Even they were saying he only had how many matches till he got to NXT, and the other guy's supposedly the worker, and this guy's the talker, kind of like did with the
Big Cass.
Yeah, but I got a bunch of crap on the internet, which I told you because I put up that joke, and oh man, so I took it down.
IWC in full force.
It's like, come on, everybody. They said an hour into it that he's fine. A concussion. I've had a concussion. I'm sure lots of people had a concussion. It's not that big. It's a big deal, but it's not a big deal. The guy can walk. The guy can talk. He'll be back in 2 weeks. It's nothing close to Owen Hart.
I read, Lance, right before I got on here was they think he has a severe one.
I've had a pretty severe concussion before, so I know they're not nice. I
figure if he can't go, then they're just going to put him out there and let him talk, because they can get away with that.
Might be the best thing to happen for him, actually, because when people were comparing it to, like I said, Owen Hart and draws, it's like, Jesus, come on, people.
Wow, really? That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna get into it. I wanted to. I'm not like that way near it. I just wanted to. What are you talking about? But I don't like. I don't want to start any
confrontation. I understand. All right, moving on. We had Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. This was by far the match of the night.
My WWE net went on a spastic freak on this match, so I missed quite a bit. I had to actually go to a stream, watch the rest of the pay-per-view, and so I got bits and pieces of it, and I got most of it. It was really good. And I'd get to a spot, and my internet my WWE net would freeze. Nothing else would freeze. It's the only thing on my computer that I have troubles with is the net.
Dude, mine did that in the next match.
Like, I can't complain. I'm not paying for it, but still. I almost wanted to send a nasty email to him today, but then I said, oh, no, I don't want to stir the pot. They might find out I haven't paid for it in 7 months. But it was good. They always put on a good match, and obviously they're setting up for another one.
Absolutely. It's just fun to watch them work because they have such good chemistry together.
Well, they've obviously trained together and wrestled each other probably most of their career, so it's like you get guys that have known each other good. You always get great matches.
The only thing that surprised me was that Owens went over.
I thought he would win. Just because he's the better of the two. But are they gonna? If it's gonna be a 2 out of 3 thing with Zayn winning the last, who knows? Obviously, he's gonna win the next one because why would they have another one if not?
And then it was kind of funny, Kevin Owens making fun of Byron Saxton.
I thought he was gonna nail him in the ring. I thought he's bringing him in the ring. Oh, he's setting him up to kick the crap out of him.
So did I, because for those of you that don't know, Byron Saxton used to wrestle in NXT.
He was there a year or so, wasn't he?
Something like that. He was originally a wrestler.
Yeah, I've seen photos of him back in the day.
I saw a couple matches, and they were not noteworthy.
Must be why he's on the mic.
Yeah, it was just kind of, that works perfect for this pay-per-view, because the whole pay-per-view was kind of just,
They said, I thought it was going to be awesome, but after Enzo got hurt, he kind of put a damper on everything.
Yeah, it just kind of like killed the momentum.
Exactly, but
Owens goes over with the pop-up power bomb clean, which I was surprised. So now Kevin Owens is saying he's going back after the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, that's sure a good move, isn't it? I like that pop-up power bomb. And then he sits out there for the whole match, which I don't mind, but it kind of took away from the actual match. It's like, now it's the Kevin Owens show.
He got busted open in his nose.
During the match?
Yeah, Kevin Owens.
I must have missed that part. Like I said,
I noticed it because when he was doing commentary, he was like looking at his nose like,
Oh, okay, I did see that.
It just kind of made me chuckle. Now, next was The Miz and Cesaro. This is where my network took the shit.
This was actually a pretty good match itself. Miz is actually not a bad worker.
I went back and watched it, and it was all right.
Yeah, and Cesaro is obviously one of the best. But you know what really bugged me about this match, and it's minor. He goes for the swing, and the crowd starts to chant 1, 2. Well, they're totally wrong. They're chanting 1 and then they go to 2 when he gets to halfway around.
I know,
then
I hate that. He gets the
other way halfway around, and it's 3. Then he gets halfway around, and it's 4. Because every time I actually count, and I go 1, 2, and they're already up to 4. 3, they're at 6. It's a learn to count, crowd.
Plus, there was a lot of people last night on message boards that were really annoyed with that crowd.
It's the crowd. They can do whatever they want. They paid their money.
I laughed because one particular person was irate because they kept chanting for Punk.
Well, it is Chicago.
And I was like, they don't even... And he's like, well, they need to stop because he's not coming back. And I'm like, that's not the point. I was like, they know he's not coming back. They're doing it to get under the skin of Vince McMahon.
Well, we're not there yet, but yeah, Vince sure played that off good, though.
Oh, absolutely.
He's like, go ahead. I'll wait here all night.
Yeah, this match was okay now. See, because I missed bits and pieces. Now, Sami Zayn comes out and attacks Kevin Owens at one point, correct?
Yeah, he jumped over we're behind, comes to the crowd type kind of thing, and attacks him from behind when he's sitting there. And then they start fighting all over, and then all of a sudden they're fighting in the ring. And that's when I think Cesaro went and nailed both of them. And then
the Miz rolled him up, right?
Well, Miz rolled him up, yeah, and with the tights.
Yeah, so, that was a terrible ending.
Terrible ending. It's like, okay, you guys are fighting in the crowd. How'd you get back to the ring? You're just there all of a sudden?
Yeah.
It's like, well, they know they're supposed to be there, but they should have had some camera work of them fighting their way back to the ring. It's just all of a sudden there they are. Unless I missed it.
Yeah, nah, they've been really off with those little things lately.
And that's usually what they're really good at, is their camera angles and being at the right
like, where they frame stuff.
Because that's, they know what's happening. They should know where to be.
All right.
Minor things again, but still, it makes a great match go to a good match, and a good match to an okay match, and just
so on and so on.
I'm pretty damn picky, so I'm sure a lot of people didn't obviously notice that, but I sure did.
Next, we had Jericho versus Ambrose. I enjoyed this match. There was just I had one little issue with it. How did you feel about it?
It's what I thought it would be, just the basic brawl type match, a few moves.
There were the only issue I really had with it was I thought two technically. I think it ran too long, which I understand why, because they're making up for the tag match. And it kind of ended very anticlimactic.
Exactly.
Like it just happened out of nowhere.
I like that, though, and at least his move is one of those out of nowhere, like Jake the Snake in his DDT. All of a sudden,
True.
All of a sudden, bam! There it is, and it's over.
And he got busted open too, Jericho.
Yeah, his nose was bleeding, and you could tell because he's got him in the walls of Jericho. It's not the Lion Tamer anymore, and they're showing him on this weird angle. And I'm like, what the hell? Then they show his face real quick. Oh, he's bloody. Oh, and then they're right back to that weird angle.
Yeah, because what happened? He must have got busted open on that move outside because he hit the ground in front of the commentator's table, and you saw him start to bleed, and he immediately wiped his face.
Well, I don't know if you've ever had your nose all bloody. It sucks. Get punched in the nose.
It was funny because they showed him. And he just immediately, as soon as he realized he was bleeding, gotta clean it up.
Yeah. Well, at least they didn't stop the match. Bring in the doctor.
No, that like what they did with Joe, that was the worst.
Well, Joe was pretty split open, though, wasn't he?
I was going to say, he had a gusher.
And Chris, once it wiped it off, it's going to come back a little bit. But Joe, yeah, that was a good one.
I just don't know where they're going to go with this now.
Well, I think Jericho posted a tweet today saying, thanks, WWE, see you next time. So that's probably it for him.
I was going to say, I didn't know if it was the end of his run or not, so... Well, that answers it, so they're going to have to find someone else for Ambrose to work with.
Well, that's fine. I like Ambrose. He's one of my favorites. He's new. He's kind of different. And he's funny, but he can kick ass.
Yeah, I like where he's kind of just stands out from everyone else.
He's his own person. Yeah. I like how he's not... He wears clothes. I've always liked wrestlers that wear clothes for some reason. It's like... It's a lot easier to buy your gear, obviously.
Well, when you look at him... quite honestly, my good friend, who is not a bit hardcore wrestling fan, likes him because he said, when I look at him, he doesn't look like a wrestler. He looks more like a homeless person.
Looks like some guy you might see at the bar. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that
Kevin
was
Owens.
The appeal because he was just so different from everyone else. So props to WWE for coming up with something original for once. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, maybe they asked him. I'm not sure.
That's possible too.
I want to see he's in a new movie coming out, I guess.
Yes, one of WWE's movies.
Oh, it's a WWE movie? Oh, obviously it's got to be a WWE movie.
I'm pretty sure.
Because he was talking about, I heard him on a podcast a while back, and he was talking about it, and he would show up, and they'd be like, okay, take one, and he'd do his thing, and they'd be like, okay, we're good to go. And they'd be like, and then he'd be like waiting on other people. They'd be like, okay, do it over again. Oh, do it over again. Do it over again.
I don't know if he's in the same movie, but Lana is filming a WWE movie.
That could be it. I have no clue. I'm not much for WWE movies. The only one I ever liked was The Condemned.
I agree with you, and this is a little off topic, but it was funny that someone actually got a video of Lana talking in her real voice. It was so weird.
That would be.
And I'm like, that's her? Because I guess you're like so used to hearing her in her accent.
It's like Kofi Kingston, and all of a sudden he's in the ring one day and he's talking normal.
Yeah.
And it was, they didn't even do anything about it. He just started talking normal. I think Shawn Michaels might have made a joke about it.
Anything. They're just like, all right, be normal.
Yeah, I think DX made a joke, and they were like, weren't you Jamaican last week? Or something. Yeah. Because he hated that Jamaican role, I guess.
Yeah. All right, next we had Charlotte versus Natty. This was actually a good match.
Good match. Horrible ending.
Oh, I hated the ending. No wonder Brett didn't want to come. Well,
maybe they... I don't... Obviously, he knows what the ending is, but... It's like, come on. Do even half the people in the ring know what that meant? You know, half the people in the audience know what that even...
20 years ago.
And it's like, come on, the screw job. This is like I think they've done this 3 times. They've done the screw job angle with Brett now. They did it before and a few times, and it's like, oh, God, come up with something.
Well, if you remember, the year after he left, they did it.
And then they did it again when he was back, too. They did it with some match. And,
dude, I liked the match. It was good.
It was a great match.
Yeah, I was really happy with that. But Charlotte wins by putting Natty in the sharpshooter and Little Nate, Charles Robinson, screwing Natalie and running off.
Yeah, it was funny though at the end there. Natty's waiting, and Brett's trying to get Rick in the sharpshooter there, and they were having troubles. And then finally Brett gets him in the sharpshooter, and they turn it over. It's like, Oh, man. Brett, look at his age there.
Yeah, he really had a tough time getting that on.
He's like, dude, used to do this every day for 20 years.
I'm wondering if it's because he just had wrist surgery recently.
Oh, did he? I didn't hear about that. But he's also pushing 50, and he's had a rough life. Like, he was one of the guys in the ring that he didn't take a night off no matter where he was. So. And
you could tell when he came out, he was like looked miserable. Like he did not want to be there at all.
Well, he's kind of a miserable guy. I don't know if he is a miserable guy. He just comes off that way. Like I said, I've listened to his podcasts, and it's like...
Yeah, he really comes off as either, like, just bitter or miserable.
He just hates everything.
Oh, he really does. I can't even listen to his podcast. It's just it's too depressing.
It is. And I like Brett. He's one of my favorites of all time.
Oh, absolutely. He's actually coming to Jersey. Legends of Wrestling or something like that in North Jersey the first weekend of June. And believe it or not, this shocked me. He's only charging $30 for an autograph picture.
Wow, I wouldn't pay anything for an autograph. I just wouldn't. I just never have.
The only reason I say that is because Sting is charging like $160.
That's what you were saying. That's nuts.
So I was like, wow, for Brett to only charge that, like that big discrepancy, I was like, that's a hell of a deal.
Well, Sting's hot at the moment. Didn't you say he's doing 2? Sting?
Yes. What he's doing is if you want to have a picture with him with the face paint, you pay more. Or if you want him just as him without the face paint, he charges the regular price.
So he's double dipping. Obviously, he's going to get 2 people.
Yeah.
He's going to get people that want both. Well, whatever. Good for him. If he can get idiots to pay for that, go for it. Oh, not idiots. I'm sorry. That's the wrong word. If he can get suckers.
If you could get somebody that's a big enough fan that's going to pay for it, hey.
I guess it's the fans' money. It's their money. They can spend it on whatever they want.
He probably charged a ton of money just to even show up.
And he's just out of the Hall of Fame, and
yeah, so he probably really was socking it to him. You know what I mean?
I can't give anybody problems for saying whatever they can charge whatever they want. Doesn't mean I got to pay it, right?
No,
so
absolutely not.
It's good for him if he can get that. It's like when people were complaining about Sonny doing the Skype calls, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, good for her. If she can make money.
Yeah, well, I told Dino, and he was all excited about this. Demolition is going to be there. Axe and Smash. If you want to get a photo with them, get a picture with you and them, I think it was like $30. And he was like, bro, you better go do it.
Dino gets photos, but they don't charge like that over in England. They charge like five pounds. I guess that'd be about $10.
Yeah.
But because when I was over there at PCW, the Godfather was there, and they had an intermission, and he had his match. Actually, they lost his luggage, and he didn't have his pimping outfit, and so he had to come out in his normal clothes, and he wore one of the other wrestlers t-shirts.
That's funny.
But he did have some girls. I guess there's a strip club down the road, and he went to the strip club and rented some girls to come over. And so he did his match, and then they had an intermission, and he was in the ring, and he was charging, whatever, £10 for a picture. And Dino's like, you want to go take a picture with Godfather? And I go, no, I'm not. I'm going to the bar. And he's like, oh, I'll buy it. I don't care. And I go, no, Dino, save your money. I see him up there. I don't need a picture of him to remember I seen him. It's like I'm here to see you and other people, not him.
That's funny because I actually got your buddy the Honky Tonk Man's autograph years ago when I was in high school. And he was raking people over the coals, man. But I was like a teenager and young and dumb. He was charging at least $30.
Well, when I seen him at that one wrestling, because he was sitting at a table, And I was sitting at the back, and that's how I met him, because I was just sitting right there. And he pulls up his table, and comes right beside me. And so he goes, hey, why don't you come down and sit here with me, and we'll bullshit, right? So I'm sitting down there, and people are coming up, and they're getting his autograph, and they look at me, and they go, can we get yours? And I'm like, sure. So me and Honky Tonk Man are sitting there. I didn't charge, though.
And what did Honky Tonk Man say?
Oh, he's laughing, too. Because I snuck in a bottle of vodka, and I'm sneaking, because I'm going to buy and pop. I'm putting my vodka in there, and I go, hey, dude, you wanna drink a vodka? And he goes, ha, 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 I'm all good. He opens up his gin bag, and he's got a big bottle of Jack Daniels in there. He was sipping on his Jack Daniels, and I'm drinking my vodka, and we're signing autographs.
Wow, that's a cool story.
Yeah, well, I got more, but I don't think I could tell those ones on the air.
It's not PG.
Yeah. But he was an awesome guy. It was I could say we went and partied at my house. And, we partied till the sun come up. Me, him, his son, and this other wrestler, Juggernaut. This kid he was a kid. He was like 18 years old. He was 7 feet tall, bald head. He looked like King Kong Bundy, but tall and skinny.
Wow.
And I lived in a basement suite, and let's just say my roof was like 6'11", and this guy had to duck everywhere. It was an old crappy basement suite I got really cheap. I was only there for 7 months to do my wrestling welding school. And then it was funny because also I had a bathroom which you had to step up in, so he could barely even fit my bathroom. It was a fun time. We didn't talk much wrestling, actually, except for I don't know if you want me to keep going.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, he's telling me about the SummerSlam with Ultimate Warrior when he lost Ultimate Warrior his belt.
Yeah.
And Warrior come running out, and he said the only he knew what was happening. Obviously, he said the only thing that sucked is I couldn't get my jumpsuit off in time. He did that splash, and I had a zipper mark on my chest for about 6 months, a zipper bruise.
I remember hearing that.
It was fun. Yeah, he was a really cool guy.
But,
he wanted me to call him. I'll just finish this.
Time killer of the evening, Vince deciding if Shane or Stephanie is going to run Raw. My God, was this terrible.
Oh, this was brutal. I almost fell asleep, seriously.
Yeah.
And I seriously almost fell asleep. And it was only on at like 7 o'clock at my time at that time. It's like, come on. Maybe they were filling time too, because also, the Enzo thing. But Jesus, couldn't have done this on Raw.
Yeah, you're not kidding, Chris. He said that was a clusterfuck.
It was like, Jesus. On and on and on and on. And then it turned out to be nothing.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, you're both going to run it. I'm like, what?
I thought he was going to say, I'm running it.
Yeah.
Neither. Or I was hoping, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I was hoping he'd say, neither of you, and out comes Eric Bischoff, or who knows.
Carter.
Oh, Dixie Carter. God, imagine that. It's like, okay, well, as WWE stock plummets to an all-time low in 10 seconds.
Hey, let me go buy some stock.
They might be setting up the brand split.
That's maybe what I think they're doing. That's what Chris said. They're setting it up for SummerSlam.
Are they going to have Shane versus Stephanie?
I'm thinking it's going to be Shane versus Triple H.
That makes, yeah. At this point, I really don't care. That's like, just get them.
We'll get into this in a little bit, but SummerSlam is starting to scare me. The way I think they're headed.
SummerSlam's supposed to be their number 2, isn't it?
Their second biggest pay-per-view of the year.
But, well,
now next we had the main event, which was AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns. I actually thought this was a very good match.
Was a good match. Of course, they had the million kickouts, Roman Reigns doing a Cena impression.
Oh, that drove me nuts because I said, look, I don't mind AJ Styles losing, but it's like, really? He kicks out of 4 finishers?
And then he gets pinned by 1 spear.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, can we at least get 1 kick out? And maybe it was because the thing that let me down the most was, and me and you had talked about this previously, you didn't know where they were going to go at this pay-per-view. You were thinking, well, maybe Styles and Anderson and Gallows all form the Bullet Club, and Balor comes out with them. Or Reigns turns heel and they join him and Balor or something. And they just basically went the simplest, most boring way you possibly could have booked it.
Exactly. They were setting it up to be so good, and it was a really good match. Like, Roman can work. It's just that people just don't like where he's being pushed down our throats. But they could have been, it could have been awesome, special, something different, a surprise. But it didn't. Like you said, they went with the easiest. We'll just pin them.
And then the other thing I thought that was interesting was, I know it was probably just for build-up effect with Steph and Shane, where he would come out, like, Roman got counted out. Oh, now it's no count-outs. You know, and then Roman punches not Jericho, Styles in the groin, and then Steph comes out. No, now it's no DQ. I'm like, are they trying to give this guy a breather? Is that why?
Could be, because I know that sometimes Roman, it looks like he's out there for 5 minutes and he's sucking wind.
Yeah.
And AJ can obviously probably go for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But it was an okay match. It was okay. It was a little anticlimactic in the end. Hopefully they're going somewhere with this.
Yeah, I would say it's one of Reigns' better matches he's had.
Well, probably pretty hard to have a bad match with AJ Styles.
I know.
Got to be the best technical wrestler out there, I think.
Oh, yeah. I really enjoyed it, but like we're both saying, it was just very anticlimactic, where it's just like, you know, we could book it all kind of different ways, and then it's just like, let's have him just beat him with the spear. It kind of reminds me of the story with Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash when they were fucking with the people in Montreal. Was it Montreal? One of those guys up there, the Clique, and they didn't want to lose. The promoter didn't want to lose to them, and he's like, well then fine, how about we just do jackknife powerbomb and that's it.
I see Chris has a good point there in the chat room that about Jericho. If he is gone, they were advertising him to be Winnipeg homecoming, for him to be in Winnipeg wrestling, and it's been all over because we get different commercials for Raw, and they've been pumping that for months. Or weeks at least.
I'm wondering if maybe he's just done with being on television and maybe just doing the rest of his house show loop.
That must be it.
Because he's always said he's hated, I shouldn't say hated, he's disliked working on television now because they rush you along. Like at the house shows, you could just kind of go at your own pace.
Oh, Chris even bought a ticket.
Yeah, well, I knew he had mentioned this for months that he was going.
Well, I'm hoping he'd show up, but you know what they say, card is subject to change.
Yeah, they don't care.
Which bugs me. That just really bugs me. It's like, okay, so you advertise, this isn't, you advertise all these guys coming, and then all of a sudden, screw it, we'll just give you the Brooklyn Brawler versus
Zack
Mr.
Ryder.
X. Yeah, it's like, I came here to see this guy. But that's always been that way.
And then as the pay-per-view went off last night, they booked the main event for Extreme Rules, which is Reigns and Styles in an Extreme Rules match.
That should be good.
I know. I'm just like, I don't know where they're going with this.
Well, this is maybe when they bring out the Bullet Club thing, because obviously it's a no disqualification match.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they just kind of put it on the slow burn since they have another pay-per-view in less than 3 weeks.
Usos come out too, who knows? But
I mean, I don't dislike the Usos, but they need to do something different with them. They're just so bland right now.
They've been around for a while too, haven't they?
And the thing is, they just came back.
Well, the one guy keeps getting hurt, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I meant. The one guy was injured, and they just came back, I'll say, within the last 6 months, maybe a little more. And they won Tag Team of the Year last year. And I'm like, really?
Oh, those awards, those are pretty bad, some of them.
I know. That's just one thing that stuck out in my mind.
Wrestle for a couple months and you're the Tag Team of the Year.
Well, here you go. I don't know if you had heard about this. This is about a week old, I think. That Bray Wyatt is already teasing his return on Twitter.
I don't do Twitter that much.
This is what he said, Lance. He says, "I will walk immortal until my work on this planet is done. Change the world. Down with the machine. Hashtag the return." I'm like, okay, whatever the hell that means.
What did he say about the immortal? What was that about?
I will always be immortal.
Okay. So Hulk Hogan's joining the Wyatts.
Yeah, there you go. Hulk Hogan's gonna come out with a big bushy beard.
Yeah, and long straggly hair at the ass sides. Gonna get some those hair extensions Hogan used to get that look like spaghetti.
Oh my God, were they terrible or what?
Looks like rope you got hanging there, Hulk.
Yeah, when he was in WCW during his NWO run.
Or did you ever see that movie he was in where he had the wig? Or maybe it was
Three Ninjas.
No, it was that TV show he was in. It was that he was filming.
Oh, yeah. The one with the dude that played Apollo Creed.
Tropic Thunder or something.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think so, and he had like a buzz cut hairdo supposedly in that.
The other show you're thinking of is the one in '94 he did, Thunder in Paradise.
That could be it. That's the one.
With the talking boat.
Oh, really? I never watched it. I just couldn't get into it.
Well, see, I was like much younger. I was like 10 or 11. And I was a big Hogan fan back then. So anything Hogan did, I watched. Okay.
I was never Hogan. I was always Savage. Except for when Hogan was, obviously when he was Hollywood Hogan, that's what I didn't mind him then. He was good.
There was all kind of shit he did. But that was when WCW...
Dean Ambrose. So that's got kind of curious to see where he goes. If Jericho is gone for real.
Yeah.
But I don't mind seeing Roman and AJ again. Like you said, that was a pretty good match. It wasn't great, but it definitely wasn't bad. It was a B. I would give that whole pay-per-view a C+, if that, C-.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That McMahon promo thing God, that had to be almost 30 minutes long, maybe. That was just, oh God! It's like, come on, it's a pay-per-view. You're supposed to have wrestling, not promos. It is, McMahon, obviously, and the McMahons, but man, they could have cut that down to 10 minutes.
Chris said the booking of the finish to the AJ Roman match looked like it was booked by a 5-year-old.
Could have been Shane's kids. One of his kids did it.
Yeah, or don't blame Foley's kid. Let him take the fall.
Is he one of the writers now?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the 35 writers or whatever they got?
That's amazing to me when you think about it. Because back not even 20 years ago, maybe about 20, they only had Vince McMahon, Vince Russo, and Dave Ferrara.
and they let a lot of the guys do their own stuff, and you know, obviously Vince would okay it, but it's like these guys, they're giving them promos word for word. They want them to speak, and these guys aren't actors. If they were actors, they'd be in Hollywood. It's give them. Well, we've said all of us have been saying this for years. Give them some bullet points, unless they're that bad on the mic that they need to read a word for word. But if they're that bad on the mic, word for word, why are they there?
Yeah, when Vince McMahon says the most important thing is your promo.
And they can't.
So when you think about it, he's a walking contradiction.
Well, Vince has always been that.
Speaking of which, did you watch Camp WWE?
No, I didn't.
I watched it. It was funny.
Was it? Okay, I'll maybe give it a shot. No, I was so tired last night. I don't know why. I just went right to bed after that.
I watched it this morning. The character they have Rick playing is hilarious, where he's trying to basically have sex with anything.
I'll give it a shot, but if it's anything like the Edge and Christian comedy, it's like that.
And you would have liked it because they had somebody else doing Triple H's voice, and it was like dead on, because like, you know how Triple H talks, where he's like, you know, hello, and they had the dude doing the pauses and everything. It was funny.
They have other people doing the wrestlers' voices? Or they got
the only person that did their voices was Vince and Ric Flair.
Okay.
Oh, and Slaughter.
I'll give it a shot.
Slaughter's on there, too.
I'll give any show one or two tries.
It was funny because I didn't realize that Rusev and Kevin Owens are on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure they're going to probably have everybody at one point. You know.
Like Cena. Cena's voice isn't even on it as him.
I'll give it a shot later.
Yeah,
maybe I'll watch it.
It's only like 20 minutes.
Oh, is it? Okay, good. Yeah. Maybe I'll give it a shot tonight after.
I was going to say, it's not like an hour like Edge and Christian is.
Is that an hour long? Oh, I couldn't get past 5 minutes.
I'm pretty sure it's an hour.
And I like Edge and Christian. They're one of my favorite wrestling, one of my teams. Well, first, the Brood was awesome. And plus, they're Canadian. I got to go for the Canadian guys. But
yeah, I was never an Edge fan.
I liked Edge. Since the first day I seen him come out, I said, this guy's going to be big.
I always liked Christian better, believe it or not.
I like them both, but equally. But it's Edge's first match, and he goes flying over the top.
Yeah, he hurts the guy and messes his neck up. I remember.
Yeah, and so they ended the match. So they had his next 5 matches. That was his finish. He would fly over and hurt the guy, and that was it. It was like...
You're like, oops.
Like when the Shockmaster went through the door.
Yeah. And
then they had him... Okay, well, that's your gimmick now. You fall through the doors at the top of the stage.
Yeah, you're a clumsy oaf. Well, like Chris just said, and this will be music to your ears, there's only 3 new episodes of the Edge and Christian show left.
Oh, what Sanders said there, Table to 3 with the Horsemen, is that already out there, or
yes.
Is that coming up?
It's with Flair, Tully, and Arn.
Oh, I'm definitely going to watch that.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
I like those Table for 3s.
Yeah, I really enjoy them. That's what I forgot to tell you. Kevin Owens killed kayfabe some more last night. Did you see the photo he put up on Twitter?
With Enzo and Cass in the suit? Yeah.
And he's all like smiling, and I'm like, come on, Kevin.
Can't help to see it. Every third post on the internet is that picture.
Yeah, I was just like, because you knew that was going to happen.
I wonder how long Enzo will be out. If he's that severe of a concussion, like I said, I had a really bad concussion. I forgot. I missed a whole month. Like, I don't even remember a month.
Yeah, because I had read that before I got on here, that it was a severe one. So if that's the case, he could be out like a month.
Well, the thing is, though, I was out a month, but I don't remember it. But everyone says I acted normal.
Yeah, it's probably from where your brain was all screwed up. It doesn't remember it.
Could be.
That's wild when you think about it.
Yeah.
But that's shitty luck for actually both of those teams, because they were going to be like, the main event, not main event, but the main thing where if they won, either team was going to fight New Day. And I figured whoever won that match was going to fight them at Extreme Rules.
You would think so. Well, I guess, was that considered a count-out win for the Vaudevillains?
Yeah, maybe they'll say that it was like a forfeit.
Well, I don't see why it wasn't a count-out.
Yeah, that too. Maybe they'll just say, they'll do it that way. And if they're smart, and I know certain people will get angry saying this, if I was the Vaudevillains, I would play it up. If you want to be a heel, play it up.
Yeah, we took you out. Now you're out for a month, and
you're at home, getting spoon-fed by somebody, or something, to that effect.
Well, that's what heels do. They're supposed to do that. We took you out. We did that on purpose, or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's a perfect way to get them over.
I like the Vaudevillains. I don't mind them. I've been watching them. I like their entrance. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. And that Simon Gotch kid, he can go, man.
Might want to change his mustache a bit. He looks a little like Hitler to me. It's like the first time I see him, I go, "Oh my God, they got a Hitler guy." Oh no, it's one of those little foldy up mustaches.
It's the one that has like the points at the top.
Yeah, little pointy things. He's not Hitler. Okay.
Because
that's not very PG.
He's the strongman wrestling guy, and supposedly Aiden English is the artiste. He's like the picture drawer guy.
I like it. I like something new.
Yeah. I always enjoyed them, even when they were in NXT.
But we all know, who cares what we like?
Well, Vince said it last night. You heard him. Who the hell cares what the fans want? It's what I want.
It's true, though. Like I've always said, it's his toy box, right? He picks his toys.
Because, and I'm not bashing Roman Reigns. I don't dislike the guy, but when you have somebody take a finisher, 4 different finishers, and kick out every time, it writes itself. You know what I mean?
He's stealing John Cena's moves.
Oh, God. My fear is that that's going to be the main event for SummerSlam.
Cena and
Reigns.
Oh.
Like my buddy Jason that was supposed to be here that didn't make it, he says Vince couldn't do it, and I was like, why is that? He's like, because he'd have to pick one over the other. He couldn't do it.
Maybe have them both win somehow, and that's the brand split. He gives them both a new belt.
Well, that's a very valid point there.
Oh, it's just a joke. They better not do that. Oh, God. I don't like... If they do have the brand split, they got to keep the one title.
Yeah, well, I think they'll do like they did before, where Lesnar, remember Lesnar refused to work on Raw, so they gave Raw the other title.
Well, I liked it back when they had the brand split, but the one title, and the champ would be on both.
Yes.
Or none. It makes the belt more... If there's 2 champions, it doesn't really make either of them a champion, does it?
I know what you mean, where it's like they would have the gold belt as the champion, and then the other belt.
It just doesn't make sense. How could 2 people be world champion?
I know what you mean.
Guess one was world champion, one was WWF or E champion.
That's how he did it. Because remember, that's when Triple H had his run, where Bischoff just gave him the belt, and he had it for like a year.
Gave him the big gold belt flair.
Yeah. Remember, because that's when he wrestled like Scott Steiner and all those guys. Oh, was that painful to watch.
Well, you always get some bad matches. Some guys just don't gel together, do they?
It wasn't so much that. It was just that whole run he had was just like, oh my God. And I like Triple H.
I definitely like Triple H. Don't like how he. Well, I guess I like him better now. Actually, as I wish he would be more of this COO or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
And stick with NXT and be behind the scenes instead of being out there. But I guess they had so many injuries they had to do something. I don't know if that's why he was the champ, but.
Who knows? But things are going to start getting interesting because Seth will be back soon and all those types of things.
Did you see the pictures they had of Seth supposedly going backstage? They got him rolling his gear coming back. Well, I look at that picture and I go, well, that's an old picture. He's got long hair and a beard.
Yeah, it's a year old. Yeah, because he cut his hair and he cut his beard. He's all clean shaven now.
Well, he was clean shaven at the Hall of Fame. He could have grown a beard by then, maybe, but
I doubt it.
Well, some people can grow a beard pretty quick, but
no, I just mean compared to that photo.
Yeah, well, exactly, and he obviously when he comes back, he's going to be the biggest baby face they got.
Yeah, because why would they have him cut his hair and shave his beard?
Unless he just did it. Who knows? I don't know if they have to ask to cut their hair.
You never know with Vince.
I would assume so. Or Vince could come in and say, I want you to shave your head today. Oh,
yeah, remember he did that to Cena.
Did he?
Well, yeah, when he first started, he met Vince and he's like, I don't like his hair. I want him bald.
No.
Or something to that effect. And they literally threw him in to the area where they cut your hair and cut his hair.
I quit a job because the guy told me to get a haircut. and I'm like, what? Oh, yeah, your hair's getting too long. I go, what has that got to do with how my work?
Yeah, I always say, as long as my shit gets done, who cares?
Yeah. He was just being a dick. And I left.
Hey, you do what you got to do, right? So what do you think Raw's going to be like tonight?
I always hope for the best. Expect the worst.
I'm hoping no 20-minute promos to open the show.
It's probably going to be a 20-minute opening of the promo with Stephanie and Shane deciding what to do for the opening promo.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing this. No, I'm doing this. No, I'm going to do this. No, I'm going to do this. Well, why don't you take the first match and I'll do the second match? Oh, no, I want the first match. God, I'm not looking forward to that. Because obviously they're coming out first. I would assume. I don't know.
God. I don't know. Now, as I'm talking to you, Braun Strowman from the Wyatt family has tweeted something. It says, some say the end is near. Some say we'll see Armageddon soon. I certainly hope we will. Hashtag down with the machine.
Well, I guess they got to keep themselves relevant since they're not on TV.
Yeah, well, from what I read, Wyatt should be back by the end of the month.
It's just not the Wyatts without Harper out there, but what can they do?
I do agree with you, absolutely. He's the workhorse.
I've always liked him. As soon as I seen him, well, I didn't like the Wyatts when they first came out. I definitely don't like Rowan. I still don't like him. I just bugs me. Whatever. And they grew on me. But Harper is definitely my favorite as a worker, like you said, and Bray's definitely my favorite because he's cool.
Chris, they were basically faces before Wyatt got hurt. He was saying it might be them saying that they're turning face. They were already faces.
They were doing the turn, slow turn, I guess. You could tell it was coming. which they should have done a long time ago. It's like,
yeah,
when,
because
who else?
I think Wyatt could be the next big, like, anti-hero.
Yeah, like CM Punk or
I hate to say Austin, but in those realms of possibilities.
Well, of course, he flipped the finger, drank beer, and swore, and he was their number one face. And
I don't know, Chris, because everything I keep hearing is they want the Wyatts to fight Lesnar at SummerSlam. Because he's saying he expects it to be Wyatt versus Triple H and Steph.
I think they might. I kind of agree with Chris on this, because remember they had the stare down. Yeah, why would they have that stare down with Wyatt
and then do nothing with it?
Well, the reason they did nothing was because he got hurt. Probably, I'm thinking, because I think Triple H knows, where. That's why I like Triple. You can tell when Triple H is running the show, and you can tell when Vince is running the show.
Well, it's funny because I heard a recent interview from Wyatt. And they asked him about Triple H, and he's like, me and him have a love-hate relationship. And he, like, chuckled as he said it.
There you go.
So he's like, I don't know if he literally meant it or if he was just, like, joking around.
Probably both.
Sanders says Finn Balor is going to cost AJ the title at Extreme Rules. Huh, that'd be interesting.
Is he going to come out all painted up?
Yeah, is he going to be the demon, or is he just going to be himself?
I don't really know. What's up with that? He just comes out as when he was the champion, just when he was a title match, he'd come out painted up?
He always, from what I remember, he would always come out for, like, the takeover specials painted up.
Okay, because I know when he was over in the UK, he'd always paint himself up for every match.
Yeah, no, he doesn't do it all the time now.
Okay.
I'm wondering if they're only, like, saving it for specific things to try to make it special.
Yeah, some of the paint.
One time he came out like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then the other time he came out like that serial killer from London.
Jack the Ripper.
Thank you, Jack the Ripper. I couldn't think of the name. So I think it's kind of interesting that they're at least, doing that.
Definitely has a cool entrance when he's dressed up like that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I thought the Boogeyman was coming out at first.
I'm the Boogeyman, and I'm gonna get you. That would be some funny shit right there. He says Balor Club will form and cost AJ. See, there's so many different ways they could do this, because if they were smart, they would put Reigns as the heel in with the heel guys,
Definitely got to keep AJ face.
Absolutely.
He comes out there, nice smile on his face, and the crowd loves him, and he looks like the good old American boy, right? Good old redneck old boy. Yeah, and Reigns, he's obviously, he's got kind of guy, even though he's the guy. But like you said, they got so many different ways they could go. And almost they don't really have a bad choice to go, unless WWE, they always screw something up somehow. They can have everything perfectly all set in order, and then at the last second, let's change it. Hopefully not. They obviously have some good plan coming, though. And I'm excited, because that's what I like about wrestling, when you don't know what's going to happen. That's the best part of it. If you know what's going to happen it's like watching a repeat of a TV show. It's like, well, it may still be good, but I'm not going to be surprised.
And he just said it, Sanders, Reigns versus Cena at SummerSlam. If they do that, I'm not watching SummerSlam.
Well, they better have that match not last, because there'll be a lot of people turning off.
Yeah.
Unless,
myself included.
Unless Cena's a heel, which we're not going to see.
That's Vince's wet dream right there. Reigns and Cena in the main event. You
like
know
you
what
said,
I mean?
though,
Since he's in love with both of them.
it'd
But
be a 60.
I think Cena's going to start winding down, man, because he's almost 40.
And he has been beaten up quite bad the last few years, hasn't he? Wearing his body's wearing down.
I think he's starting to see there's life after wrestling.
And you don't want to be so injured through your wrestling career. Who cares how much money you earn if you gotta be in a wheelchair? How can you really enjoy it?
Yeah, dude, he's got so much money. He probably doesn't even know what to do with it.
And he's got that new TV show that's on, and
he's got the two reality shows. The Bella one coming out, and then the other one.
Yeah, the one that's like people out in the woods or whatever they do.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell it is.
I haven't watched it, but he, like you said, he knows that he's got life after wrestling, and if you want to be in the movies or whatever, you can't be in the movies if you're all crippled up.
No, I have not watched 1 second of it, Chris. I have no desire to watch it.
The Cena reality
reality show or whatever show it is, American Grit or something.
There it is. Sander put it on there. America Has Grit.
Yeah, I have no desire to watch it.
I don't know if I get it up here, but like I said, I'll give it a shot.
Do you have Fox?
Yeah, I got Fox.
It's on Fox, I believe.
Okay. Well, like Chris said, it could be on YouTube or somewhere. It'll be on. If it's on TV, it's on the computer somewhere.
Yeah,
it's
just like the Bella show. I have no desire to watch that either.
Oh, you couldn't pay me. Well, I guess you could pay me to watch it, but it'd have to be quite a bit.
You're not Steven.
Who?
Steven Payback.
He likes that show?
Yes, he loves Total Divas. He always watches it.
Oh, yeah.
I told him, because he's like, oh, bro, I just watch it for the behind-the-scenes stuff. I was like, sure.
Well, each their own. I don't care what show you like. Doesn't mean I gotta like it.
No, I just always make fun of him over it.
I think Rago watches it too, actually.
Really? I'm going to have to ask him about that one.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think he used to watch it. I don't know about now.
Yeah. No, I tried to watch it. I just can't.
I just don't care. I don't care about them. There's nobody on there I care about. Well, I like Paige and Natty, obviously, but I don't
that show's
care
been the kiss of death for her. Paige.
You think so? Yeah.
Ever since she's been on there, she's been like relegated to like nothing. You know what I mean? It's just been a big friggin' mess.
I still think that her on Stone Cold's podcast is what got her in trouble.
That's very possible.
Talking about getting hammered and wasted and partying all the time and all these party stuff, and if you're a diva, you're not supposed to be going out and getting wasted all night.
But yet me and Ragal talked about this last week, but yet they sell T-shirts saying Brie mode on them when Brie mode means to go get intoxicated so much that you can't remember.
See, I didn't know what that meant either till Ragal said that. So, see, he must have learned that off of Total Divas. That's where he got it from.
Yeah, I found that out from somebody that watched Total Divas.
So that's it. She gets so trashed that she...
Yeah, and then she goes, Brie mode!
Well, does Vince even know?
Yeah, who knows at his age?
So I'm thinking a 20-minute opening promo for Raw tonight.
Probably. That's what I'm thinking. That'll probably make sense. Because why would they want to keep us interested? Of all things, when you start the show.
I've never liked the 20-minute promo to open the show.
I've hated it. Hated it.
But it's not wrestling anymore, is it? It's sports entertainment, so...
Yeah.
It's funny, when I was watching that, I didn't know it was on there, was the JBL with talking about Undertaker, where they had HBK, Stone Cold,
yes,
Triple H. I didn't know it was on there, and I watched it, and I like how Stone Cold's always, well, I call it wrestling. I'm about wrestling. He's always wrestling, and then there's Triple H's turn.
Damn it!
And Triple H's turn, he goes, well, sports entertainment. He never once said wrestling. That's
the one story that made me laugh was when Stone Cold said he made the Undertaker laugh
in the ring. Yeah, it's because he was always so. That was their goal, try to get the Taker to laugh in the ring.
And he said he was so hungover from the night before. Taker like flipped his hair up and gave him like a menacing look, and he said Stone Cold just started laughing at him. And he said because Stone Cold started laughing at him, he started laughing and had to like put his hair back down.
Yeah, that was good. I didn't know that was on there. I like the JBL show, so that was a good one.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good ones on there, like with Bischoff and Michael Hayes.
Yeah, I've seen those. Wait, what's Booker T? Is that one out there yet?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, could be waiting on that one because I've seen him ads with him and Booker T, but
he's trying to get Russo on there.
Oh, I don't know about now after Russo. Did you hear Russo's rant?
Yeah.
The China thing? He went off on WWE, and he even said, I don't care if they're ever bringing me back. Fuck them. And he went off on them. Holy.
Yeah, I watched it. He really, went off.
Well, I see his point.
Oh, yeah, the very valid point.
You know, it's like the China video last Raw. I liked it, but then they show, they're showing videos of her, and then they show a picture of Stephanie McMahon tweets, China, blah, 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 blah. It's like,
yeah, it's like spitting in her face.
Exactly. It's like, you don't need to have that on there. And if you do have those tweets of people saying how nice China was, don't have Stephanie's first. It's like,
I think that was done in spite.
100%. As soon as I seen that, I'm like, oh my God. You stole her man and now you miss her? Oh. Jeez. Whatever.
Yeah, they pretended she never existed, so that's why she is where she is.
Yeah, she hasn't existed for that many years, and now all of a sudden, just, yeah. Like Nixie said, though, if they did it, video or not, if they did it, they're damned. If they did it, they're
they're damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't.
So might as well do it. I'd rather them do it and be damned that way. So because she deserved it.
All right, everybody, we're gonna get out of here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We will be back tomorrow evening at the WZR time of 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Raw reaction review, all that good stuff. So everybody have a great day. Take care now. Bye-bye.